eating God. It has to go. And this is what ultimately we all have to get through our noggins, is that things are not at all the way they're supposed to be. They're 180 degrees off. And these rulers, these wicked rulers, are playing on our weaknesses. Okay, these are not nice people. These are the kind of people that will blow your brains out, just like they did with JFK. They don't care. They hate humanity. Okay, these people do not revere God. They don't fear God. They don't they don't care about their conscience by their fruits. I'm just saying, I'm not judging anybody, because the object is, again, to convince people where they're wrong, not to condemn people. This is about winning treasure for God. And what is treasure for God? Treasure for God is friendship. He wants more friends. He's souls. Souls are his treasure. So he's after the affections of the souls. And we all have an obligation as disciples of Christ, and anybody that says they're a believer, they're a Christian and all this stuff, that America's a Judeo-Christian country, for crying out loud. Let's start acting like it, okay? But anybody that prescribes to this idea that I'm a believer and I believe on Jesus and I'm going to be saved and all this because I'm covered in the blood of Jesus and I accept his. But remember also, he said that many in that day will call on me and I'm going to say, I never knew you. Away from me, all you evildoers. So we got to understand where we're evil. Have we been that person he was talking to when he said, whatsoever you do or fail to do for the least of these, you have done or failed to do for me? Okay, we need to ask ourselves what he's angry about and what he wants to question us about one-on-one, face-to-face with us. Right, Jesus Christ. I mean, holy angels, God himself, who knows? God can manifest himself in any way, but it's some accounting that we're all going to have to give. We're all going to have to partake in. We're all going to have to give account of our lives and what we have based our belief systems on, what our philosophies are based on. You know, this whole idea of loving one another. Do we really understand it means giving a crap, caring, just like it was you. So you don't ever look down on others. You don't belittle others, because that always just comes back to belittle yourself. And why would we do that? So there's no sense in it. Believing in equality is a very American principle. This is very valuable. And elitism is the kind of thing where it's like a pregnancy. You can't be a little bit elitist. We all need elitist. We all need to search our hearts to see if we are, because this is where hypocrisy starts flourishing. Because once you open Pandora's box there, that's opening, cracking that door just a little bit. Okay, you open the floodgates of hell to come in. And you have no standing to judge anybody and say, well, yeah, I'm a little bit elitist. Okay, I believe a little bit in inequality. But, you know, that's taking it too far. So you become the decider. You're the judge, jury, and executioner. Do you understand why the only safe place is to believe fully in equality and say, God, as long as that is your will, and I believe it to be from everything I read in Scripture, from everything I know about your character, your nature, your personality, your desire for humanity, is that we love each other and we see each other as equally loved. And we care about even our enemies, even if you think they're the most vile person in the world. The idea is to win them over, to convince them that they're wrong. This is very powerful. There is no greater power than the power of love. And that's what it's about. It's about displaying that same understanding, empathy, compassion, sensitivity, gentleness, all these good things that God gives to us, that grace and mercy and that forgiveness, that long suffering, that restraint, that slowness to anger, that quickness to forgive, that God shows to us. We need to be grateful for that. Okay, this is truly valuable stuff that he gives us, and we need to take it and let it grow and offer it to other people. This is the best thing we can do, is just love one another the way that we know we've been loved. This is what helps us to cope. This is what helps us to contend with the madness of this world. And it is maddening. Absolutely and utterly maddening. I've had to watch it way too long. I can't stand it. I'm dying for the worm to turn. Because I want to enjoy prosperity, but I can't. That's freedom. We have to be financially free. Free from Satan's hold on us. Okay, in order to be truly free. It's an absolute quality, and financial freedom is part of that. I can't enjoy the idea of becoming financially free and leaving my brothers and sisters in the dirt, in the dust, literally. They're dying out in the cold, okay? And it's illogical. It makes no sense that we have this going on. We set up these multi-billion-dollar agencies like Section 8 that's supposed to house the homeless out there. You see the madness of the political system, and not Democrat, Republican. I'm talking about political in terms of money, strictly money, man. Fiscal prudence or lack thereof. And that's what we've got. I mean, their focus is not on fixing problems. It's about exacerbating the problems and making people themselves more relevant. We've got to expand the debt because I'm in the part of the debt industrial complex. I'm part of the financial services industry. Okay, the same thing. Okay, the temptation, if you're a social welfare worker, the temptation is, yeah, I need poverty, so this is good, keep it coming. That's job security for me. At least the temptation, even though, I believe these people are good and decent, upright people. If they really understood, if they had true wisdom, they'd be on the side of egalitarian, equalitarian, good American principles of equality. Okay, and that means freedom. We've got to be free. If anybody has a right to be born financially free, okay, like David Rockefeller died recently, then we all do. Nobody can object. If you say, no, there should be no legal problem, I mean, you should be able to leave your children your wealth, then that means God should be able to leave his children his wealth. And who are we? We are his children. We are like little gods. We have great power. Great power. I mean, I've met guys, I tell you what, and we hit it off, and we're best friends within 10 minutes of talking. I've had guys say, hey, who's the guy? I want to go have a talk with this guy. Hey, I don't need anybody to fight my fights. I mean, I could have, so many guys out there, I could have taken their lives with guys that would have done it, not with me charging them or anything, just because they were righteous dudes that wanted to protect their little buddy that they just made, their new BFF. And, but we have a lot of power. But I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want anybody afraid of me. And I know all the quotes out there. The Thomas Jefferson, when the government fears the people, there is freedom, when the liberty. And when the people fear the government, there is tyranny. I know all that. Nevertheless, okay, I don't want to live my life and have anybody be afraid to be next to me, okay? I want everybody to feel safe around me. I want to be able to get up close and personal with my enemies, like Churchill, okay? And what Jesus said, okay? This whole idea, this is what we're supposed to do. These are the extents it's supposed to hurt us. To be so humble, have so much humility, but it's not cowardice. When you get close to your enemy, you know that this is somebody that hates you because you stand against the establishment. The same people that hated Jesus, not for a good reason, but without cause, without any good cause, without any justification for hating him. Just because he was on the side of righteousness. And this is what we're up against today. It's more contemporary and relevant than any time before in history. It's reached a crescendo here because of the absurdity, with all the knowledge on the earth, with the information of the ages at our fingertips. And these evil people are getting away with this gaslighting, this stuff about Russia and all this crap they're trying to lay on Trump. Oh, no, we didn't bug him. Oh, yes, we did. Sorry. It was inadvertent, though. And so we're all innocent. And the Chinese, we all know, openly supporting Hillary Clinton, by hating Trump. So by default, they loved Hillary, wanted Hillary elected. We all know that. A country of how many billion? 1.5 billion people? And then Mexico, oh my God, do you think they made any secret about who they wanted to be president? Okay, and the Saudis funding, 20% purportedly of Hillary Clinton's campaign? And so the focus on Trump, and he doesn't know a damn thing about the Russians. And Stone, he's dying to testify. He'd never met a Russian in his life. I mean, what the hell's going on here? It's like, it's so absurd that it's beyond the pale. Absolutely, utterly beyond the pale. To the nth degree beyond the pale. And gaslighting. But it's happening. It's propaganda. It's just sheer... Well, we're just going to totally blame them for what we've been doing. We tried to fudge and cheat on the election, tried to get all the support of all the Asian Americans out there and the Latino Americans out there and all the Arab Americans out there, and try to get them to support Hillary, right? But we're not going to focus on that, okay? We're not going to focus on that. How they try to get all the illegal, I'm sorry, I apologize, undocumented immigrants to vote. Obama saying clearly that, yes, they have a right, that these citizens, calling these people citizens, It's just maddening. The madness of this world. They're creating all these problems, these dubious wars. Okay, can you imagine the dubious warfare industrial complex, these black hats in high places in the military that just want more trouble? John McCain collaborating with the enemy openly, and nothing's being done about this. It's common knowledge now. Even the mainstream media is reporting this stuff. It's absurd, reached absurdist levels. How much more crazy can it get? This is the world we live in the 21st century. We wonder what God's going to be angry about. All this mass regression that we're tolerating, we're all culpable in this. And that's why I speak out. I don't want to tolerate it anymore. I'm tired of it. The worm's got to turn. The ship's got to turn. The tide's got to turn. Whatever analogy you want to use, man, this thing's got to do a 180. Okay, that's what we need. We need to be free, and we need to go the opposite direction. We need to bring our cost of living down. This is what we're looking for. Evidence of progress is a steady decrease in your cost of living. This means that the worth of your currency increases. This is why I never get away from talking about economic principles of supply and demand capitalism, just as a means to an end. And I understand that all you rabid communists out there and socialists and, those that prescribe to the Robin Hood theory have good intentions. And I understand that you weren't created in a vacuum. I understand that it was crony capitalism, which is fascism, where the government supposedly being we the people, but colluding with private interest groups, okay? Special interest groups, all in collusion, and the government's involved in this. This is what the price fixing is all about. And it is horrendous. It's horrible. And this is how they manufacture. This is how they create. This is how they fabricate the rabid communist sympathy out there. This is what's going on. I understand it, and people have to admit it. People have to get it through their stinking heads that all this communism and socialism isn't. Be honest. Just be honest. You understand what they're pissed off about. They're pissed off about 2008. All these highfalutin politicians, okay, that illegitimately legitimized this debt with the Federal Reserve. They knew they'd blow out the pipes of the economy by dumping all this money on the housing market, something that we can't get away from. Okay, your housing prices should have gone down in the last 50 years. Do you understand? From what they were. Like the VCR, okay? That's what should have happened. That's called progress. That's called supply and demand capitalism, free market, competition. Okay, that's what it is. And it happens naturally if you let it. That's true capitalism. And only use it as a means to an end. What's the end? No money at all. Because $10 in your pocket is worth $10 billion. Do you understand how this thing could work? This is it, man. This is the light at the end of the tunnel. And yes, it sounds idealistic. It doesn't matter. This is what we have to work for. This is what we've got to strive for. This is fighting the good fight. This is what Jesus said. Be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Why would you compromise for any man? Why do you buy this lie, hook, line, and sinker? This lie we've been told. Oh, no. We've got to oppress you. In economics courses, do you know what they teach? That, yes, we keep the people hungry on purpose. We know we could end poverty all around the world tomorrow, at least extreme poverty. Nobody has to go hungry without clean water or without housing anywhere in the world. And we could end it tomorrow. But we got to keep people of the world hungry. Okay, we got to walk this tightrope between revolution, uprising of the masses to overthrow the establishment and just let people keep dying. We're feeding the genocide machine, the death machine out there. Georgia Guidestones, all that. We're the good guys. We're altruistic. We're trying to save the planet. That's the kind of crap that we're all prescribing to, whether semi-conscious, subconscious, or unconscious, or consciously. We're all on board with this, and it's sick, man. We're all twisted in the head because these people have done it to us. They've inculcated us with madness. And it just never seems to end, but it will end. It will, and they're reaching their end. And they know it. Their time is short, so they're pissed off. The most evil people. And the other ones, a lot of them don't know what's going on, but they're squirrely because even the demons believe and tremble. We are all to work out our salvation, like it says in Scripture, with fear and trembling. We've got to give a damn. We've got to care about sin. What is the most vile sins that we could commit? is to hate one another, to be murderous. And that's what they are. That's what they're doing. And they're getting us to believe in this social Darwinian economic principles where dog eat dog, rat race, harder and harder, just keep raising the bar, making it harder and harder by debasing our currency through a rising cost of living. It's just stealing the wealth right from under our nose. And they say it's legitimate, but it's not. It's illegitimate. This debt, who should pay the debt? We should sue the Federal Reserve Bank and all these highfalutin politicians on a one-by-one, whoever voted to okay that bailout, when the will of the people was over 90% against that bailout, because we wanted true capitalism to work in America. And we wanted these banksters to fall on their faces because they knew what they were doing by overextending themselves.